Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
Hey everybody, it's Josh with Cards and Breaks. The other week I had some grades pop for a vintage order with PSA, and usually I like to do the PSA grade reveals in the app, and I totally forgot to do this one. So they just arrived at the shop today, and I thought, you know what? Let's do a little bit different one, and we'll just show the cards as they come out of the boxes. God knows I can't remember the grades right now, but I did take a look at the grades on all of these. This is honestly going to be fresh to me because I have probably long forgot those grades at this point. But yeah, enjoy. We're going to start off with this right box feels a little lighter, so let's just get that one done and over with. I already cut these, so it should be easy enough to... I might have spoke too soon. There we go. Easy enough to open. These unwrapped. I think there was a couple of kickback cards. It's usually what the green tape means. I think it was like a min size not met, which, or maybe it was I don't know what there's a possibility they were altered. I'm not sure, or at least they said they were. So it'll say on the holders here. We'll take a look at these ones first. Customer. Oh, well, that's a fun one. Customer submitted extra cards. I'm gonna have to check. I must have messed something up on the order, or maybe I just put a quantity of 2 and I meant to put 3. But yeah, there you go. I haven't seen that one before. This one says it's altered. I don't really know why I got the altered grade. Oh, I can see. Yeah, apparently, so someone when they were a kid, presumably a kid, they wrote on it, and they will not grade that because they consider that altered. I was kind of curious why that one did not grade. Now I'm remembering some of these. And let's see, the last one is a Johnny Bench rookie min size, which is not... Geez, it's really crooked in there. Not what you want to see. Maybe we'll try resubmitting with PSA, or we will go SGC, see if it can lock in that grade of anything, really, just to get it encapsulated. I mean, I don't think it... Listen, this is the way I got the card. I believe this was part of like a really old collection. Min size can mean, the card's been... it's trimmed, it's shrunk, it's flattened, something happened where they apparently saw something they didn't like and gave it the min size. So we'll try with probably PSA again or SGC, see if we can get the grade. So we have a Babe Ruth 1962, 2.5. I think from memory, I was a little surprised on some of these grades. They felt a little light for the cards. I thought they were going to do better. 2 is reasonable here. I think that's an appropriate grade. The Juan Marichal, I believe that's a rookie. This, okay. I see the 2. I mean, I think it could have gotten a 2.5. I think 2 might be a little bit critical. There is corner wear, obviously, as you can see on all this, but I don't think there was any major stuff. I'm seeing some scratches on the card. All right, 2's fine. I mean, it's going to have to be, right? Another Babe Ruth, got a 2 on this one. Sorry about the glare. All right, second box. I don't think this order's too large. I think it's like 20, I want to say it's like 28 cards, something like that, 26 cards. These are in there tight. And there's my order paperwork. That's in there too. There you go. All right. We're going to start off with a Say Hey Willie Mays 1.5. It's got damage. I'm not blind to it. Would I've liked to seen it 2? Sure, but it is what it is. 1.5. All right, next up, Clemente. This is one I thought was going to do a little better, and honestly, looking at it in hand, it doesn't have any creases. It's obviously got the corner issues. A little off center, but yeah, I think this was a little bit light. I mean, I've subbed enough vintage to know how they typically grade, and this kind of goes with what I've been saying lately. Is I think they've been just a little harsher, or the graders are a little less experienced. But I feel like that's probably. I know it sounds silly, saying, "Oh, I think it should be a 3.5." I think it should be a 3.5. I base that off of, my experience grading a lot of times over and knowing what has gotten a 3.5. But uh, on to the next one. Hank Aaron got a 2. Again, like, what am I missing here that it got a 2? I mean, I get it. The corners, they have issues, a little bit of, there's probably some surface issues, but nothing like a crease um, that I'm seeing here. Let's see what the back looks like. A little staining right down here. I don't know. 2 feels, again, this feels a little bit light on a card like this. I think this should have been 2.5 up to a 3. Um, this is a cool one. I haven't seen this before. I actually, I got to do some research. This is just cool. Like, look at the misprint on that. It's kind of trippy. But yeah, it's got a 3 on it, and if I'm gonna compare that to, I mean, it's got a dark spot on the back, okay, and then it's got corner wear very similar, and it's just very odd to me that like you go from having a card like this, which is very very similar condition, and you're not even going from a half grade like a 2.5 to a 3. You're going straight 2 to a 3. Um, Anyway, I think that's an appropriate grade, honestly, on this card. So I'm not mad at it. Next up, looks like we stepped up numerical um, grade to 4. Back looks pretty decent. I'm happy with that. I think that's an appropriate grade. Bob Clemente, 2.5, little staining on the front, edge wear, corner wear. There's a creased corner. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is just what's wild to me. The centering's beautiful on this. I mean, it's a little bottom heavy, but left and right has really good eye appeal. But I'm looking at that, and then you go back to the Hank Aaron that got a 2. There's no creasing on this. I mean, there's, again, corner issues. I'm not saying the card's perfect, but then that gets a 2.5. Like, it's very easy if you look at these two, and again, you're gonna have to take my word on it that there's no creases, folds in the cards, any scratches on the surface of the card. But I really think that this Hank Aaron is in better shape than this Clemente. So this is one of those things where it's probably not worth it to crack them out and resub, because it's not really going to increase the value that much for a 0.5 or a full number grade when it's this low to justify doing that. But Ernie Banks, we got a 3. There's a little bit of surface wear up here. I don't think that's clouds. Corners are pretty decent. I mean, honestly, I think that this probably should be higher too. I think if you go and you compare it to, again, let's take this. This was a 3, right? And this Hank Aaron from the same set actually was a 4. I don't know. They're very close. But again, this is where the half grades come into play. I just don't think that's a full grade difference. Again, is what it is, so we'll move past it, but just figured I'd kind of weigh my thoughts in there. We've got a 4 on this 1969 Ernie Banks. Corner issues, there is surface issues here. Man, I don't remember seeing as many of these surface issues. I'll have to look at the PSA scans when it came in, but you got a corner issue here that's kind of like, it's a crease, or it's a slight fold on the corner. And then there's staining here, and I don't know. I think there's some that, if you compare them one to the other, there's some undergrades and overgrades in this order. Not by a crazy amount, but it is what it is. 3.5 Tom Seaver. Surface looks pretty good. Corners got a couple of things going on with them, but nothing major. I look at this. I think this is an undergrade. Honestly, I mean, there's a little surface wear right here. But again, you're going to tell me that you've got very obvious light corners on the bottom left and right. They're very noticeable, right? And you've got a giant, whatever you want to call that, smudge, ink, whatever it is, on the face of that card. And then you've got a slight discoloration here, and the corners are arguably better on the bottom left and right of this one. Not by a ton, but they are better. And then a little bit of light corner wear up top. And the back looks pretty dang good. So you can literally compare card to card, and I don't understand. I don't personally understand how you make those two grading assessments on those cards and have one of them be lower than the other one when the one that was lower looks like it's actually better. This is a pretty awesome, iconic, big card. I say big, but it's Johnny Bench's rookie, so it's about as big as you can get for Johnny Bench. There's a couple of eyelets, spots, whatever you want to say. There is definitely some surface issues here. I think there was a lot of gunk on these cards, and I had to clean them off. And unfortunately, there was a little bit of paper loss on these, but honestly, I look at this and 3's fine. Especially with that. That's going to bring it right down. All right, we got a 4 on. Got a 4 on this copy of the Roberto Clemente, very off center. And then there's like an indentation on the right side of the card, the left side of the card, the top left corner. I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember last week, let alone months ago when I sent these. I don't know. I'm fine with 4. Don't get me wrong. I just think there's some cards in there. Not to beat a dead horse, that should have been a 4 over that one being a 4. We've got what would that be? A second year Johnny, right? Yes. PSA 3. It's definitely got corner issues. Yet again, if you're going to take, corner issue, and that's like a pretty, noticeable one here. Corner issue on the top. For this to get a 3 and some of those to get 2s and 2.5s, I don't get it. I'm thinking something happened here. I don't remember all these black marks. I'm really confused. I just do not remember all these, it's always on the right side of the cards that I'm seeing, and I'm going to have to check the scans. I really don't remember there being ink marks like this. I could be wrong. I'll double check when PSA scan this in. This got a 4? Really? This is a perfect example of, I want to really hone in on this. Look at all the edge chipping on the bottom. There is whitening on the edges all over the card. Super obviously, got issues. It's got the smudges here. It's got a slight fold on that bottom left corner. Again, I'm not mad. This, to me, I don't think this is a 4. I think this is lower. But okay, I just want that consistency back, and I'm just not seeing it. This was the big one of the order. Let's see. I got a 7. There's a little bit of ink on the bottom of that card. Centering is really, really good on this. Talk about good eye appeal. There's corners are pretty good. A couple of edge issues, nothing major. Shows a lot on these the edges of the black cards, or the black bordered cards, whether it be the front or the back. So yeah, this is I wouldn't be surprised if this did a couple of $100, if not more, in a 7. I don't think I looked it up, but here we got a 4 on the next one. Who do we have on this? Oh, Aaron, got it. And you take a card like this, I think this is better than a 4, if I'm being honest. So, I get it. Vintage is graded kind of independent, year by year, but you've got relatively okay centering. It is a little lopsided. I'll give it that. But corners are pretty good. There's no creases as far as I see, as far as I remember. And then you go to the back, and the back's pretty good. pretty good, you know, a little bit light on that corner. But you're going to tell me that this is a 4. This is a 4, and that's a 4. That doesn't make sense. Here we are. Here we go. Don Drysdale, 6. Okay. So, beautiful centering. Great eye appeal. Again, they really must love the centering. It really must kick the card up. But, you know, I think this is an overgrade, honestly. Not by much. I think it's closer to like probably a 5. I guess I can see a 6, but you've got, you know, corner issue, corner issue, corner issue. And then you've got some kind of discoloration. It gets a little lighter up here to the green. I don't know. I think 6, maybe it's not an overgrade, but it's just, again, compare it to some of these other cards that got far less, and that's not crazy far off from some of them. This is a little bit of a bummer. I'm not surprised, though. It got an MC grade. It stands for miscut. Obviously, you can see how heavy it is. That is an appropriate classification. And, you know, it's got corner issues here, and the back, you know, it's a strong 4. I think the grade was strong on this. I think this would probably be, honestly, closer like a 3.5. I think that's maybe a tiny bit over, but we'll take it, right? And I don't even remember the rest of these guys that went in, but that got a 2. Yeah, that's probably appropriate. I mean, there's a lot going on with it. And these ones I didn't expect to get really high grades on. This I'm actually, you know, it's funny. Look at the card, right? There's staining all over it. And I get that, like, the other card that got the alteration that got kicked back and didn't get graded had writing on it, and staining and writing is a little bit different, but it did get slabbed up, and it is in rough shape. It's been through a lot. So, and last but not least, we have a Dots Miller grade of 3. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I could see it. You know, this is way earlier, by the way. It's a T206 card. So, again, different grading classifications for different years. Yeah, I will take a 3 on that. That's right around there. I think that was a fair grade. So that's one of our. We don't do vintage a lot. That's one of the few that we do. It took about 4 months to get back. I mean, it was over, I think, by about a month for when it should have been back. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've got a bunch more planned to drop this week. There's going to be another PSA video that recently I dropped for some Pokemon cards. And there's going to be a submission, or rather a pre-grade for a customer that wants to submit cards. That's going to drop soon as well, just to see what their thoughts were and then what my thoughts were, and if some of the cards they wanted to send out were going to be gradable or going to be kickbacks. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me this long. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and stay tuned for the next one. Everyone have a good day.